Code Pink is a feminist anti-war group that was started back at the beginning of the Iraq War. Back then, their favorite politicians were far-left anti-war figures like Bernie Sanders. This week, Code Pink protested the U.S. proxy war with Russia that continues in Ukraine. They protested outside of Senator Bernie Sanders' office, and guess what? Senator Bernie Sanders' office got them arrested.
Why are you getting arrested, Jody? Why? Jody is arrested. It says that Bernie is for diplomacy. He knows peace is the right thing. Why are you getting arrested?
We're holding up a sign, a quote from Bernie Sanders calling for negotiation. Bernie Sanders had me arrested for holding up his own quote.
Why would the one-time far-left socialist, once anti-war Bernie Sanders have these anti-war protesters arrested? Good question. Because it brings us to what we're really talking about here. The old left versus the current left. The old left was very anti-war. It was against constant U.S. intervention abroad, the military-industrial complex, and basically anywhere American foreign policy fueled forever wars. The current left is very much in favor of fueling the war in Ukraine forever. Old left?
Why did our soldiers die in Iraq?
And maybe if you're tuned in here, Obama, listen to what I'm about to say.
Current left.
Democratic Senators Elizabeth Warren and Richard Blumenthal and Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. They don't normally agree on much. Together, though, they're some of the staunchest supporters of US funding for Ukraine's resistance.
Old left?
Congresswoman, none of this matters unless there's a nuclear war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine.
Current left.
And that's why this year, Sandy Cortez, along with every member of the squad, the progressives, voted to approve another massive $40 billion military spending bill. Cori Bush even voted for it, even after she admitted it would directly contribute to, quote, the increased risks of direct war and the potential for direct military confrontation between Russia and the U.S.
Old left? How tragic is it that today, while hundreds of millions of people live in abysmal poverty, the arms merchants of the world grow increasingly rich as governments spend trillions of dollars on weapons of destruction? Kind of sounds like what's going on in Ukraine today, Bernie. Current left.
But I think we cannot allow Putin to run roughshod over an independent country.
Right, and that does mean supplying the weapons that the Ukrainians say they need.
Yes.
Code Pink does seem genuinely confused that all their old leftist allies have completely flipped on the war issue. In fact, the only anti-war figures in Congress today that broadly hold Code Pink's position on Ukraine are all in the Republican Party. People like Rand Paul, Thomas Massie, Matt Gaetz, Warren Davidson. I'm probably missing a few, but that's where you find them. So there you have it. This week, the old left clashed with the current left, and the old left got slapped in handcuffs for being anti-war.